So a lot of you guys were interested in the posing or what it looked like rigging, and really it's just a hierarchy. So a hierarchy is I have each of these individual shapes and muscles connected here. So all of these are connected with a hierarchy. So I'll show you a simple example of a hierarchy. So we have a sphere here and we have a box. So if I take this box and let's just say I move it, so now it's I wanted these two together. It's kind of like an arm or something. So I'll take the box and just nestle it under the sphere. So now when I move the sphere, let me turn it off, snap, the box will move with it. And of course you can take multiple things and you can create hierarchies that go all the way down, like for example this body, that have all of these connected to the body with different muscles and things that are connected. If I want to pose him, let's say I want to pose him forward with his arm slightly bent, his head facing up and his head tilted to the side. So I'd be able to take the body, which is the back, and all of these things are connected. I can bend that forward. I can take the shoulder. I can maybe bend that back and maybe out a little bit. I can take the forearm and I can bend that. I can bend the fist this way. I can tilt that back here. So the last part of all of these is the pivot point. So if you notice, I have the pivot point here. So this way, if I need the body, if I want to move it, it's moving around that pivot point. Right now, the pivot point is on the middle of that sphere, so that's why it moves around like that. But let's just say we wanted to change that. We change the pivot to maybe this point. Now everything will change around that pivot point. So I have to take this piece, take the pivot, and maybe move it up to this position, going into the shoulder. And now I can move it so that the pivot point is at the end. If I were to change it, now it moves so the pivot point is at the bottom. All right, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video. Welcome to my 3D crash course for beginners with Nomad Sculpt. I'm Drug-Free Dave, a digital artist and content creator living in Brooklyn, New York. So by now, I'm sure you've seen and heard about the rise of 3D sculpting and modeling on mobile devices like iPads and Android tablets. Creating 3D art has never been more accessible. And unlike legacy apps like Blender and Maya, where it's a really steep learning curve, creating 3D art with Nomad Sculpt is actually fun. In this 3D crash course, we're going to design this cute little character that I found as a GIF on my phone. I don't know what it's from, but it's a GIF and it's cute. So it's small, it's round, it's fairly simple, but it allows us to use a few different tools to kind of get us used to Nomad and used to navigating around Nomad Sculpt. We're not going to be chiseling a sculpt out of like a block of clay, because that's what I thought when I first started 3D modeling. I thought like you have a block and then you have to chisel it like you're... It's not really like that. What we do is we're going to use shapes and we're going to build those shapes up until we get the character we want or the 3D sculpt that we want. This course is perfect if you want to learn how to turn your 2D art into 3D art. You can also export your sculpts to other applications like Blender, and then you can really push your creativity to the max. I love doing animations and video effects and things like that. You can also just make things a 3D print. I love creating characters, printing them, sanding them, painting them. It's really amazing what you can do nowadays. So once again, I'm Drug-Free Dave. Thanks for watching my little crash course intro. Again, this is a Skillshare exclusive. So if you're ready to learn 3D, then come hang out with me on Skillshare, and I look forward to seeing you in class.